Are you a new content creator hoping to make your mark on YouTube? Maybe as a hobby just for fun, or maybe with grand plans to make it big one day. And you have little to no experience with any of this? Well, you are in the right place. So here are my top 8 things that I wish I knew when I was first starting out on YouTube. Here we go. You're not helping me. You're not helping me. Thanks. Thank you. Before we get underway, if you'd like to learn more about these topics being discussed in this video, please do show your support by subscribing, turning on the notifications, and hitting the like button for this video. So what did I really wish I knew up front before I started all of this? Simply put, everything from video recording to video editing to video lighting to clip editing, talking about like different types of cuts and fills and transitions and A and B rolls, all of that stuff, all the stuff that you don't really think about when you first get into this, because you're like, oh, I can just press record and poof, I'm on the way. Which technically is kind of true. Number 1, recording. So the goal at the end of the day is to just press record on whatever device you have, whether it be a phone, like in this case it's a Galaxy S23, or a dedicated camera. Even if you don't have dedicated tripods or stands for your phone, that's okay. If you look around on YouTube and scour about, you'll find out that there's plenty of styles to suit pretty much everybody's whims. So just go with what you got and get something going. If you are interested in having more stable footage, then I highly recommend investing in a simple tripod or a phone stand. I know for my phone, I use a phone clip that I have mounted to a mic stand. Super simple, costs like $10. So that could be a viable starting point. So what else is there about recording? It's obviously more than the act of just pressing the button. You have staging, framing, movement, presence, the actual act of recording. So way more than just hitting a button. Are you going to run a segmented video where you actually chop everything up into bite-sized bits and rehearse them and then perfect them and take several takes of them? Or are you just going to do one continuous recording and do like one take and slice and dice it as necessary? Do you have a checklist of types of shots that you want to have included inside your video? Have you planned those out? The key takeaway to this one, have a plan. The better you plan, the better off you'll be in the long run. This is actually the first time I'm actually doing a segmented video. I learned about it recently. It sounded amazing when it was explained, so I'm giving it a shot, trying something new. Half of this process is just a creative learning process. But I'm not going to dig into each one of these items in this video, beyond saying that A, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning much of this, as most of you all are if you're actually watching this video. B, there are tons of free resources out there. Other YouTubers like Think Media or Nick Nimmons, they have tons and tons of educational videos that will help you an insurmountable amount. And C, as you learn things, as you come up with new ideas in your head, just do them. It's a creative learning process. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't actually create something. And most importantly, just have fun with it. Enjoy the process. Learn as much as you can and just create. Number 2, how awkward it is to record yourself. Similar to recording in general, being on your screen or recording yourself can feel very awkward. Some people are naturals at this, others, like me, not so much. It's one thing to speak to a live, hopefully captive audience, and it's an entirely new world where you're speaking to a random object that doesn't have any reactions to words or emotion or anything you're saying to it. Nested in with recording yourself is learning how to be more charismatic, how to be more confident in what you're saying, or how to be more engaging or at least more organic. Discomfort and nervousness will pour through your recordings. Kind of like a nice fitted outfit, it's not going to lie to you when you gain an extra couple pounds. Your camera won't lie to you either. Again, this feels inherently weird until you figure a few things out that work for you. It's ultimately like rehearsing your lines and choreography for a play. Being prepared and rehearsing. I've said it a few times, I'll continue to say it throughout this video. I've had moments that I knew precisely what I was going to say until the moment my mouth opened. And all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. It's very much akin to stage fright. Because once that camera's rolling, you're kind of on the spot. Even though reality says you can always turn it off and do it again, and again, and again. Like this is the 7th time I've done this, and again. So to that end, rehearse what you're going to do. Actually think about the camera shot that you want. Think about the lines that you want to say during that camera shot. Rehearse it, plan it out as best as possible. And then, if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, do it again and again. Eventually you'll get the results that you want. And at the end of the day, it's better to have too much footage overall than to not have that one single shot that you really needed to have. Number 3, lighting. So it seems like you should just be able to flip the lights on, right? Well, generally speaking, yes and no. Ideally, you wouldn't be using your typical just room lights by themselves. You would have other studio lighting solutions like key lights and fill lights, halo lamp that would be able to assist you. Now, that being said, there are ways of going about it. Granted, right now I'm using pure room lights. I actually have other lighting items that I've purchased that are inbound, still patiently waiting for them. But you do have other household items that you can use, like flashlights and lamps. You can be creative with how you do it. There are many lighting solutions that can be purchased on a budget. You don't have to break the bank to buy them. Anywhere from, I've seen somewhere around the 30-40 mark for some soft diffused lights up to well into the hundreds for more professional lighting solutions. You have the ability to go simple or go big and go home, however you want to do it. But overall, I would recommend, as time permits, as money permits, within your budget, try to get lighting solutions that will help enhance your overall production at the time of recording, so you don't have to worry about doing it inside the editor. Which brings us to the next item. Number 4, video editing. So last item directly related to video, I promise. Learning how to edit video inside of some of these softwares can come with a huge learning curve if you've never been exposed to those types of softwares. I'm a geospatial information specialist in my real profession, and I've used some really high-end extensive softwares that have taken me years to master. We're talking 16 plus years. And that's just for that particular niche thing that I work with. So similar to that, video editing, people make full-blown careers out of this. As a hobbyist like myself, you get a new beautiful software package and you're learning it from scratch. So on the plus side, there's plenty of options out there that are free, like DaVinci Resolve is actually what I use. It is a very solid free platform that you can use, and it has everything you'll ever need, or you can have a paid subscription to it. Filmora by Wondershare is another option that you can utilize, but then you also have more professional ones. Also on the plus side, virtually any version that you get, no matter how rudimentary or how advanced it is, you'll always have the ability to do all the basic stuff within your timeline. And the other plus side, there are a lot of people dedicated to it on YouTube. For whatever platform you have, there's somebody out that's making tutorials for you. If you run into a spot where you don't understand how to do something, by all means, there are people out there that have wonderful videos that can show you step by step how to do it. Number 5, graphic design. So what about that thumbnail? That pesky little thing that you try to create the best one of so it stands out against the masses and people are enticed to click on your video? Yes, that thing. That falls within the world of graphic design. So I've searched around, I found a lot of good tips on how to go about creating catchy thumbnails or attractive thumbnails. I've also seen some tips that are kind of so-so. As with everything else, you always have the ability to purchase professional services, such as Tuber Tools, that's also hosted by Nick Nimmel that I mentioned earlier, or you can utilize other services that are partly free, but you could pay for them, such as Canva, which is a graphic editing tool. It's good for doing thumbnails. You could also do intro and outro videos or snippets for it. So it's a pretty versatile thing. But again, it's just another one of those aspects of this that if you've never done and you weren't expecting it, it's not necessarily as easy as you think. It's not overly difficult. There's another tool out there called GIMP. It is a free software download for use. It's an open source software. It does come with a little bit more of a learning curve, but as with everything else, there are people out there that can walk you through pretty much everything on how to get it, overlay, do alpha shadowing, and all that fun stuff. So, graphic design. Item number 6, video titles. There are a ton of metrics about titles and how they work with inside of YouTube. But the art of actually creating a succinct title that works in conjunction with your thumbnail is an art form. specifically an art form that new YouTubers like myself and many others watching this can't afford to be lackadaisical on. We don't have the following that allows us to have the ability to post a video and rely on our fan base to carry it through. We actually need to attract attention to viewers passing by our content. And one of the main ways is by doing it through the title, along with or alongside of the thumbnail. One of the key things to remember about titles, outside of just being succinct, being direct, and making it relevant to the content that's actually contained within the video, is don't lie. What I mean is don't make a clickbait style title that it has no relevance to the actual content. Don't name drop individual like famous people in order to get people to click on the link just to realize it's not relevant to the content. It's actually against YouTube policy. You can have your account banned for doing just that. But one of the key takeaways is that your title and your thumbnail should reinforce one another. If you can pull that off, you're well on your way to a more successful video upload. Number 7 and 8, video descriptions and tags. I'm going to lump these two together because you're going to find them in close proximity within the video upload editor, as well as the fact that those two play off of each other very much. I didn't really understand how that nebulous YouTube algorithm really worked, or how the tags, if placed in a certain order, can actually impact the searchability and discoverability of your video, as well as the description, and how you should have keywords from your tags also in your description if possible. So for the description, since we humans have such a small attention span, and YouTube even suggests this, you should always put the most valuable information up front. You should re-mention what the video is about, describe what it's about, ensure that you're taking those tags from your actual tag section and using those keywords inside of your actual description. Once you have the front part finished and it's actually locked tight, the remainder of the 5,000 characters that you can supply can be your product recommendations. It could be anything else mentioned or any other web spaces mentioned inside of your video, any affiliate links, things of that nature. You can fill it out however you want to, include all your social media accounts or even the gear that you use to produce this video. And in the spirit of organization, the same is going to go with your tags. You have up to 500 characters for all tags. If you use tools such as vidIQ to help support your channel, then you'll automatically be given with keyword suggestions as well as the searchability of those keywords, how they rank inside of searches, so it'll help you build out your tagging for your videos. It's an invaluable resource. Another way to kind of look at it is if you go into YouTube search as a manual process, start typing in what the video is about that you're going to be publishing, and then actually look at how the keywords are auto-filled. And some of those keywords will be some of the ones that you should be using inside your video as well. And finally, the last thing I'll say overall is to pay attention to all the YouTube creators that you enjoy. Look at those videos, seriously look at them, critique them, look at what makes them good or bad, things that you like, things you don't like. Maybe it's how they do transitions or how they're zooming in and out of their video to keep it going, not allowing it to be a stagnant frame for more than maybe 5 to 10 total seconds before it transitions into something else to keep your brain engaged and your mind interested. Listen to how they speak. What's the cadence of their voice? What's the tonality of the voice? What's the energy of their voice? So just pay attention to everything that they do, including down to lighting, props. Just get a feel for it and start to think about how you can recreate some of those things in your own image, in your own style. And beyond that, just keep creating. I can't thank you all enough for sticking around with me, watching this video, listening to what I have to say. I hope that I was able to give you some insight from a beginner to another beginner, some of those steep hurdles that might be before you, but it's an honest opinion. It's from my experience. And please do subscribe, turn on the notifications so you can learn about new content as I come out with it, and show your support to my channel by hitting that like button. Until next time.